All right, this board meeting is called to order. May I have Ms. Humphries, will you lead us in the roll call, please?
President Osborne?
Here.
I'm sorry.
Here.
Vice President Holcomb?
Here.
Member Gresham?
Here.
Member Kazi?
Here.
Member Spear?
Here.
All are present.
All righty. We'll have Ms. Gresham, the hugger, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
So a motion by Mr. Holcomb, a second by Ms. Kazi. Please vote. The agenda has been approved. Is there any need for an executive session? Seeing none. On to item 3.1, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Baca, will you introduce this item?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the governing board and executive team. First of all, congratulations to all of our 8th grade students for being promoted. We have one more promotion ceremony to go through. Congratulations to Ms. Spear, Ms. Gresham, and Ms. Mamani for your children being promoted and on to high school. They grow up fast. And just a reminder that tomorrow is a half a day and it's our last day of school. So thank you to all the staff and students and families for this past year and for making sure that we got through almost near the ending line there. And we're just very, very grateful for all that they do. And then finally, I'd like to introduce Ms. Molly Dodd, our new director for the Madison Education Foundation and Community Development. Ms. Dodd has a Bachelor of Science in Education from Southern Illinois University. She's a former teacher of primary students. We kindergarten teachers need to hang together. Ms. Dodd is known for her fundraising expertise, serving as either PTO Vice President or President at CTA Goodman Elementary, Ingleside Middle School, and Arcadia High School. Since 2019, she has served as president of the Arcadia School Swim and Dive Booster Club, leading all fundraising efforts. So I'd like to formally introduce, and if you'd like to say a few words, Ms. Molly Dodd.
Welcome.
As you know, my name is Molly Dodd, and I have been in education all of my adult life. I've been everywhere from a classroom teacher to all of my fundraising, and I look forward to networking and fundraising here for the Madison School District and help enrich the art program here. Thank you.
Welcome and welcome.
It's good we have a proud Saluki on team. I grew up in Carbondale, so all righty.
And that concludes my report.
All right, Mr. Holcomb.
I just want to say how much I've enjoyed the promotion ceremonies. They've gone very smoothly. The families and the students have been both respectful and very engaged. It's a nice balance, and it's been wonderful. It's one of the best parts of being on the school board is being able to go through this. So, and I want to thank all the teachers and everyone who was involved in making it go so smoothly and actually making it possible for us to get to this point in the year after the year it's been. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gresham.
Thank you. Yes, just also congratulations to all the families and 8th graders who are promoting. And also I picked up my artwork. They probably can't see it online, but this is some artwork for Ukraine that they did an auction at #1. So I just picked those up, so those are nice. So, and yes, just thank you everyone it was a tough year, but we got through it. And so I hope everyone enjoys the break this summer. Thanks.
All right, Ms. Spear.
Nothing to report other than congratulations to all the families and also the staff who have made it through this year, and to all of the people who helped in the Madison, who helped make these promotion ceremonies go off without a hitch. We are poorly trained SEALs as governing board members, but we know where to stand and what to do when we are told. And that has been very helpful for us as board members, but also as parents who, when we're also standing up there the year that our own child is promoting. So thank you to everybody.
Ms. Kazi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to echo the comments of my fellow board members. I'm sorry that I missed you all yesterday. I was there in spirit. Just also want to thank all the staff. I know this has been a tough year, and we're almost through it. And also thank all of the teachers that are helping with our summer school program. I'm really excited to see what comes out. I think we have a really excellent program lined up. And just want to thank everyone that continue. I know the work, we all think that it's summertime, but there's a fair amount of work that happens during this time of year, and so thank you for keeping that work and that effort going. And just, I still am kind of can't believe that we're not going to see you starting in July, but just want to say that I feel really honored to have worked with you, Dr. Baca, and I know you're not going to let us say a lot, so I'm just going to keep talking whenever I have an opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more board meeting to go.
All right. Well, thank you to all the staff, to all the teachers, to everyone for a challenging but I think successful school year. And I would like to kind of take a moment of silence. I think a number of us heard about the school shooting in Texas, and why don't we just take a brief moment of silence so their thoughts are with our fellow school folks in Texas and all those families. All right, thank you for that moment of indulgence. All right, next on to 4.1, calls to the public. We do have one call to the public. Ms. Raquel Mamani, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Oh my goodness, it's been a day, so bear with me as I try not to bawl my eyes out here because my kids just got promoted, so I'm all emotional. Good afternoon, Dr. Baca, Dr. Guerin, members of the board and executive team. Most of you know me, but for the record, my name is Raquel Mamani. I'm a proud parent of 8th grade twins who just got promoted for number 1 today. I'm also a teacher with over 20 years experience in behavior modification and a public education advocate. Today I come to you as a teacher to share what my experiences have been subbing 4 days a week at number 1. I have to preface what I'm going to say with this statement. I believe that everyone, teachers, staff, counselors, and administrators are working just as hard as they can with the resources they have and are given and are doing the very best that they can, but it is not enough. And we must do something different. COVID has completely changed the game. I became a long-term sub at number 1 about 8 weeks ago, but have been subbing on a regular basis for a while now. There are amazing things happening at number 1 daily. There are also things happening that are completely unacceptable. It is unacceptable that I get cursed out a couple times a week. It is unacceptable that teachers are being injured or falling down, breaking up fights. It is unacceptable that teachers are being mistreated, bullied, and overrun by classes with too many students with challenging behaviors. It is unacceptable that students' bathrooms are regularly closed due to vandalism. It is unacceptable that students are drinking and vaping on campus. It is unacceptable that for years now we have been able to keep a teacher in 7th grade science in this position. Students actually brag about this. The 7th graders brag, hey, we've managed to keep teachers on the go. This year, 5 teachers had to give up their prep daily to cover the position of a teacher that we could not keep in the building. That means that they teach all day without a prep. When you have to sub for these teachers, it is brutal. It is unacceptable that day after day there are rotations after rotations, teachers losing their preps, and this is day in and day out. It is unacceptable to allow subs to be mistreated and disrespected when subbing for teachers who struggle with classroom management. And just bear with me when I tell you this story. A few weeks ago, while I was monitoring the hallways, I was working, and it was on my prep, and I go to the hallways, and I saw a class that was rocking and rolling in an area that is rocking and rolling quite a bit. And so I popped in, and I looked at and it was a sub, and she was looking wide-eyed, and the kid said, "Settle down, it's Miss Mamani." And so, got them settled down, checked in on her later on that day, and she said, this has been the worst day of teaching in my 30 years. Now, I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm not saying this to startle anybody. But I'm sharing this because if we don't acknowledge that there's a problem, we can't work on a solution. I know that the last day of school is tomorrow, and that the work of planning next school year goes on to full swing. That is why I'm here to implore you to do something different and not wait for the beginning of the school year to make a plan to address the very rambunctious 7th graders who are coming back, and they're not going to be bringing their halos back, and the teacher shortage will continue. I have that on good authority. I know that that's going to happen. So there is a position that I've heard about in Creighton that implements community schools in conjunction with ASU, that they work with ESSER funds.
And please wrap this up.
Yeah, I would love to wrap it up, but they do all of the things that need to be done at number one, and I beg you not to just sweep this under the rug. I am open for feedback. I can see what needs to be done over there. I have a lot of experience, and I'm hoping that we can build a better number one, and I want to be part of that. I'm hoping to come back as a building sub again next year, but I think I could do more if we just had the wraparound services and the position to do that.
Thank you very much. All right. Dr. Baca, will you look into this item? Or
Yes,
comments, excuse me?
Dr. Guerin and I continue to work on this.
Okay. Now on to item 5.1, approval of consent items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Ms. Spear, second by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. The motion has been approved. Now on to item 6.1, resolution for district additional assistance. Dr. Baca, will you introduce this item?
Thank you, Dr. Osborne, members of the governing board and executive team. On May 10th, you as a governing board received information from Ms. Garvey, our deputy superintendent, regarding our district additional assistance override that we have currently in place. She provided information to you and to the public regarding where those funds go to, and information regarding requests to call for a special election this coming November, a year before it actually phases out, in order that if, for whatever reason, it doesn't pass, we're able to have another year. And so tonight, per legal requirements, we ask that you formally call for a special election regarding the district additional assistance override. If you have any additional questions from May 10th, we'll be happy to address that.
Do we have questions, comments? Be happy to take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move that we adopt a resolution. Can I go straight to the resolution, Dr. Baca?
Ms. Causey, you can either say move approval of item 6.1, or you can read the entire recommendation.
So my question is to consider, discuss, amend, if desired, and deemed advisable. I assume we're just moving towards a resolution at this point, correct?
Ms. Causey, Mr. President, members of the board and executive team, the approval of this item does a few things. It's the resolution that we must formally adopt, but it also allows us to be able to declare and then submit the for and against arguments that the public is able to weigh in on.
Understood. Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt action item 6.1, resolution for district additional assistance override November 2022.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
A motion by Ms. Causey, a second by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. And while I'm voting, I'd like to explain my vote. I'm going to vote aye for this item very reluctantly, and not because I don't think the money is going to be used well. It's not that we need the money. I am starting to get concerned with the hyperinflation of families being able to afford the homes they live in and the taxes. So I do this with some reluctance, but I want to make it clear it's not because I think we don't need the resources. We're not going to use the resources well, but it does concern me when I see higher and higher tax rates in this environment. And with that, I vote aye.
Mr. Chair, I just want to make a clarification. The tax rate will not rise. The tax amount will, but we're not doing anything that'll raise the tax rates.
Understood, understood. Has everyone voted? Okay. The ayes have it. It is unanimous. And with that, we'll move on to item 7.1, discussion regarding future meetings.
Thank you, Dr. Osborne, members of the board and executive team. On June 14th, we will have an executive session. As you know, we are required to annually evaluate the superintendent, and so we'll be meeting at 5 o'clock for the annual evaluation. In addition, we'll have a presentation. Culver's annually presents their donation to us from the fundraising efforts that have taken place, and so we'll be welcoming them. With the consent agenda, around this time, it's always a long one because we're renewing and continuing contracts that are in existence in order to operate for next school year, along with other items. Then the major action item is we will have a proposed budget. Depending on whether or not the legislature sets a budget or approves a budget for next year will depend on what that proposed budget looks like. But you will need to adopt the budget in the subsequent meeting before July 15th. On July 12th, we'll have a special meeting for you to adopt the budget that is being proposed. Having it proposed on the 14th allows us the requirement of no less than 10 days in order for the public to provide comment and look through the proposed budget, so that when you consider it on July 12th to actually adopt it, you'll know that there was that time afforded to our public. And unless there's anything else that you are wanting us to have for a future agenda item, that pretty much covers it for June 14th and July 12th.
And just to be clear, if the Culver's guy want pictures of the check, they better bring concretes for the board
Well,
members.
you know, that's the expectation like they did last time. We'll see whether they can afford to do so.
We'd be happy to endorse all of their flavors. All right, any other comments or questions on the future agenda items? At some point, probably in one of the future agenda items, when Dr. Guerin may want to have some recommendations for us for some of the early board items or things that she has on her mind for the August timeframe. So if you wouldn't mind kind of keeping that, doesn't have to be immediate, but sometime before we leave for the summer, wouldn't be a bad idea to have a little bit of a snapshot. All righty. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Spear,
Second.
second by Mr. Holcomb. Please vote. The meeting is adjourned.